everyone. Welcome to Wednesday Wisdom. Today is going to be a really awesome and amazing topic. Elizabeth created a fabulous class all about adding essential oils to your current first aid kit. And so, Elizabeth, these are 10. Are these just the 10 oils that should be there, or are these like your top 10 oils?
I would honestly say top 10 to add to your first aid kit. There's so many top 10. As we know, Young Living has the premium starter kit with essential oils that has 12 oils in there, but I deviated just a little bit from that and specifically added in a few that I have personally used and others have used in situations when we really needed, that first aid element of things.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And so these are inside your house. And do you take these with you? Like, I know you go kayaking a lot. You go kayaking. You go hiking a lot. Clearly, that mind wise hasn't kicked in yet. So, you take these with you when you go?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. If I ever go, let's say hiking up a mountain, you probably won't find me with less than 5 essential oils in my backpack because generally either I need it or someone else in our group needs it. If we don't, that's a really good day. But if we do, either we need it or we want it. So today I'm going to be talking about needs and wants because essential oils are a beautiful addition to our everyday lifestyle. So the ones I'm going to talk about today can honestly be used on an everyday basis as well as they're ones you really want to have on hand if you get in some sort of a, extra situation.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I am ready when you are. I'm excited to hear about these.
Getting started with adding essential oils to your first aid kit. And today I'm just going to talk about the top 10 essential oils that I think are wonderful to keep on hand for any emergency. And before we get into the essential oils, many of us on here are pretty well versed in using essential oils already, but I want to go through a few basics. And number one, I want to say that I'm not here to prescribe, diagnose, cure, treat any disease. So these are simply suggestions that I think could be valuable for you and your family that I've done and others close to me have done. And so there's my little disclaimer. And as far as your first aid kit, I'm showing these photos because yes, you absolutely want to go down to your local like CVS store or convenience store, whatever it is, and get a first aid kit or order one offline. There's so many different versions out there, and it depends on if it's just you, if there's multiple people in your family, what kind of situations you're going to be in as to what you decide you need in your main first aid kit. And then today we're going to talk about the oils to add to it. So I just want to get everyone's mind thinking, like mentally think, where in your house is your first aid kit? Do
Ooh,
you
that's a
have
good
one?
thought. I don't know
Is
if I
it
have one.
updated?
You know,
Is it?
Elizabeth, this is such a good point because I would just like to point out that this is something so simple, right? I was traveling with one of my friends and they got in the car and they had a cardboard box and they got a really deep paper cut with their cardboard box. And so she was
Mm,
like, reach into my glove box. I have a little first aid kit in there. So I reach in there and it's in a little zippy pouch and I go to pull out the Band-Aid. Girl, this Band-Aid had to have been 50 years old. So
oh
if you
no.
guys haven't thought about it, update those first aid kits. That's a really good point, Elizabeth.
Yeah, honestly, I would say every 6 months. But if you do
Oh,
end up using a lot of stuff, restock it. The reason is you just want to know what's in there. It's like a mental thing. It's kind of like changing the oil in your car,
mhm.
or restocking your beauty products or your shampoo or conditioner. Like this could be the most important life-saving thing, if you need it, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So and I do recommend a person have one in their home that they keep at home, and then one that's like a travelable one or one that you keep in your car. So yeah, have a little one in your car, have something at your home. And if you're traveling, think of what different situations you're going to get yourself in and have something for traveling too. So I know that sounds like a lot, but if you get something inexpensive, it's really not all that much money for the peace of mind that you have.
Hmm.
So, why add essential oils? As we know, essential oils can be used in three main ways, which is topically, aromatically, and used as a dietary supplement internally with the vitality oils that Young Living has. So, essential oils are so versatile that they have so many uses. Each oil has at least three uses. So, I'm going to list a few uses for each oil today, but that does not mean that that's the only use for that oil
Yeah,
because
good point.
there's so many more uses, right? As we
Yeah.
know. And essential oils have a very long lifespan. Okay. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm worried about my oils going rancid after a year, honestly, I have oils that are 10 years old, probably 15 years old. The main exception to that is if it is an oil that's cold pressed, like for instance, lemon or orange is pressed out of the rind. That's a different process. And those oils, if they're exposed to extreme heat or sunlight, um, and over time, I would probably say don't keep them longer than 2 years. I don't know if you have a suggestion on that, Beverly.
No, actually, I had not heard of the difference, like with the cold press shelf life versus regular. So I'm glad that you said that. So would you recommend that people swap out the oils in, like, let's say for the first aid kit that they keep in their car, like, especially in Florida, a car can really get hot. So it's
Yeah.
like if I buy, like, for example, I put lemon vitality into my pancake mix. Okay.
Mhm.
So if I run out in the house, should I go get the one out of my car and move that one into the house and then put the new one in the car? Is that how you would kind of recommend doing that? Just rotating it around?
That is a really good question. So, the interesting thing with the first aid kit is your general things that aren't spoilable. I would say keep in your car, keep in your house, keep traveling with you. Essential oils, if it's hot, like Texas, Florida, Arizona, you don't want them to get over about 90, 100 degrees for a lengthy period of time. Now, that's not to have like
Okay.
overly concern, but I would never keep my oils in my truck in Texas all summer long. I just wouldn't do that. So I
Okay. So
usually,
we would more like carry these in like a bag with us, and then if
yes,
we're going hiking, toss them into the car.
I would say so. I
Oh,
would say
that's
so.
excellent. Okay, good to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. So have them with you, but don't keep them in the heat for too long. Another thing you could do if like you're going on a road trip or whatever, you could even have a little cooler. Something that's insulated that is just going to keep the extreme heat off the bottles. What's nice is these amber bottles, the reason they're tinted is so that less light gets in them. And so that's a beautiful thing as well. And I'm going to show you as far as storage. Here's the two oil cases that I love. So I highly recommend getting one of these from Young Living. The smaller one holds 10 oils, and then this larger one holds 30 oils. So granted, for like a little go bag, I'd say just get the small one. You may want the
Mhm.
bigger one for like a stock of oils at your house kind of a thing.
Yeah, that's great. And I'm also thinking too, Elizabeth, like how you're talking about maybe keeping them in a cooler, like those would just feel so good on the skin if you need them, you know? So
For
when you're
sure.
outside, you get all hot, and I'm just like, I'm visualizing like putting on a nice cool oil, you know?
Yeah, it is much more soothing when they're cool versus hot. When I go camping, for instance, I always take a big cooler with my food and stuff. So I have my little pouch of oils, like that small one, and I put it in a Ziploc bag and stick it in the cooler. And that's so that water from the cooler doesn't get through the little zipper, outer area of the oil case.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's kind of one
excellent.
thing I do to keep them nice and cool.
You know what other case I do like too is I love the case that comes with the active and fit kit with Young Living.
Mm.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of a softer pouch, and I can share my screen a little later and show you if you guys would like to see it. But it has one of those. What do they call that? Is it a carabiner? The thing that'll clip to your belt?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
carabiner.
So yeah, it's got a little carabiner on it, so you can just like clip it right to your belt, and it has the little straps that will hold your oils. I
Mm-hmm.
love that one for, if you're going on like a shorter hike and you're not bringing a bag with you, that one is
Totally.
fantastic. And the oils that come in it are great as well.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, and there's several of the ones we're talking about today that are in there. So going back to, and Beverly, I don't know if there's a way to actually highlight my photo on here. I'm just from my end seeing your video or your face.
Do you have me pinned? Because I do have
Oh,
it different on my end.
I guess not. Let me see. Maybe, well, you're kind of pinned. I mean, it just, no, you're not pinned, but I can pin myself.
That's
Just
funny.
want to see myself. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I'm looking on Facebook. I see your face only in
Okay.
the upper
Okay.
right
Okay.
hand
I know it
corner.
looks different from
So,
different
yeah.
angles.
That's the thing with Zoom, right? It's like it's always like,
Oh,
who is it? Me? Who is it? Who is it?
I know. What's going on? I will say I wore this hat just for today because I do love being outdoors and all of that good stuff. And so generally I'm not a camo girl, but today was one of those days. So when it comes to quality of oils, as y'all probably know, I get mine from Young Living. And the main reason is because of their seed to seal quality standards. And personally, I've been to 4 of our farms. I've helped with lavender harvest, Melissa harvests. I've been to Utah, the Utah farm, Idaho farm, Oman, planting frankincense trees in Oman. And so it's been a beautiful experience to have that hands on with the essential oils. And honestly, it makes me think that it's almost like we're a little closer to nature when we use the oils. No matter if we're inside or out on a mountain, it's that essence of the plant material that we're able to use that is such a beautiful thing that our bodies really do well with. Essential oils work really well with the cellular aspect of our bodies, and affect, you know, all the different functions of the body. And so what I want to show is that bottles come in 2 sizes. So we've got the 5 milliliter bottles, which is 75 to 100 drops. 15 ml bottles is 250 to 300 drops. And Young Living also has Vitality or regular. So the Vitality, those little white peppermint Vitality labels, on the label, you're actually going to see instructions how to take it internally as a dietary supplement. You know, it might say add 1 to 2 drops to a glass of water or to an empty gel cap and take internally. So I'm going to mention how to use some internal oils today, as well as topical and aromatic use. What's neat is there's the same oil in both the Vitality and the regular bottles. It's the difference in labeling and size of bottle. So there we go. If you have any questions, let me know. And then we talked about storage. So let's just real quick go into dilution versus neat. So if you're going to dilute an oil, what that basically means is that you're going to take, I love Young Living's B6 mixing oil. It comes in an 8-ounce bottle. It is something that you want to keep cool and out of the heat. I keep it in my refrigerator just on an ongoing basis, and then maybe have a little traveling size of it. But that has like 6 fatty, what we call fatty oils in it, which would be like coconut oil, jojoba oil, olive oil, things like that, that are more of oils you think about cooking with. That's the kind of fatty oil that if you need to dilute an essential oil, it has such big molecules that it actually slows down the absorption of the essential oil through the skin. And so it'll help with things like if you're using a hot oil like oregano, clove, things that you think about cooking with in your kitchen, lemongrass, thyme, those may be a little bit hot to the skin. Oregano is one I usually always dilute. It's not in the kit, but that we're talking about today. But anyways, that is tips on dilution. If you feel led to dilute an oil, do it, especially if it's a hot oil. If you apply an essential oil and then after applying it, it feels a little bit discomforting or you have some redness or something, go ahead and just add your dilution oil on top of where you put your essential oil and you're good to go. One warning, if you ever get oils in your eyes, I don't recommend it. It hurts, but never flush with water. Flushing with water just intensifies it, especially warm water. Water drives the oil in. So what you want to do is actually take your V6 oil or your coconut oil and just like lather it on there let it sit, move your eyes around and then wipe it off. And that will kind of pull all the oil off of there. I did that just a few days ago. I was cooking with some Vitality oils and accidentally touched my eyes and was on the phone with a friend and he's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I'm bawling my eyes out. I can't see anything." It was hilarious.
That's funny.
But front row view to the experience of oils in the eyes. Um, so now let's get on to the essential oils. Aren't these pretty bottles? I don't know. That's just what comes to mind. I think these are such pretty bottles. Beverly, do you have any of these oils in your house right now?
Oh my gosh. I think I have every single one of these oils in my house right now. The thieves, I'm telling you guys, the thieves. Okay, if I had to choose, I would say that I use the thieves, the peppermint. So the thieves we use every single night. The peppermint I
Right.
just used last night. The
Hmm.
lavender we use all the time, and the lemon vitality I use so much when it comes to baking. So
Wow.
it's rare that there's a baked good that I produce that doesn't have some sort of a citrus essential oil in it. Vitality, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's amazing. So what I did here is every oil that has a vitality counterpart to the regular oil, I put it in here so that you guys know when I mention any sort of internal use, putting a drop on your tongue, a drop in a glass of water, a little bit in a capsule, that's the vitality oil. And then the other ones. Lavender and peppermint do have vitality versions as well, and I forgot to add those. So oops, because I'm going to talk about peppermint vitality, adding it to your water. So heliochrysum is soothing to the skin when applied on location soon after getting a cut. What I love to do is applying just 1 to 2 drops is a really good first go-to. And then you can think about what other oils to use. Heliochrysum doesn't generally require dilution, especially in this way. If it's right after getting a little something, then go ahead and just use this one, and it's a powerful thing. Heliochrysum is also soothing when applied topically on an area of bruising or discoloration. And in this case, you can repeat it rather frequently. Sometimes I'll use an oil once an hour, or 3 times a day. Of course, if any sort of a reaction occurs, itching, redness, etc., you can take a little break from it or dilute it. However, don't be afraid to use your essential oils. It's better to use a few drops more often than dump a lot on and never do it again. That's always my rule of thumb. Heliochrysum is also known to support normal skin function and is especially helpful when applied regularly to the location of damaged skin. So, like I said, doing it on a regular basis. And I went ahead and grabbed this testimony because it's always fun to hear an actual testimony of someone that uses a product and had a specific result with it. So this gal Dolores says, "I am accident prone and therefore won't be without my heliochrysum oil. If I accidentally cut myself, I immediately use the oil. This is just one of the many oils that I love." From Dolores.
That's excellent.
So now you can see this gorgeous frankincense tree. This is Mother and I standing under a frankincense tree in Oman near the town of Salalah. And Gary Young actually took us here along with the whole rest of the team to show us this tree. He supposed that it was 700 years old. This is a much bigger frankincense tree than you usually see.
Wow.
However, if you've read any historical accounts of frankincense, such as when it was given to Jesus by the wise men over 2,000 years ago, we know that this frankincense oil has been used for about 3,000 years, and that's in multiple ancient documents. So if it was good enough for them and they were traipsing around the unknown world on camels and horseback and all of the different things that they encountered, you guys, they didn't have the same kind of laboratories we do today to mix up things that you go buy at the store. So frankincense was a big one that they used, especially in the regions of Saudi Arabia, Oman, Yemen, Israel, Egypt, etc. So frankincense is another phenomenal oil. It is an additive in many beauty care products and has been used for thousands of years around the world. This oil comes in the regularly labeled bottles as well as the vitality oil. Topical uses for frankincense include applying it to the neck and chest area, on the bottoms of the feet, and down the spine. It's generally okay to apply without diluting, although dilute if skin irritation occurs. Frankincense is cleansing, it supports natural skin function, and is especially helpful to use on location as the skin is mending.
Mhm.
Adding a drop to your daily moisturizer will help amplify radiant looking skin. Now, what I'm going to pause and say is think of what I just said and read into a little bit. Okay. Frankincense is cleansing. It supports natural skin function and is especially helpful to use on location as the skin is mending. That should tell you a lot right there. Let's move on to purification. Purification is a powerful blend of citronella, lavandin, lemongrass, myrtle, rosemary, and tea tree that can be soothing to the skin when applied topically. So this is a topical oil. Purification's application is very similar to its name. So purifying and cleansing when applied to the skin. So think of what different instances you could use that for. When would you need purifying and cleansing effects on the skin? So one of the top ways that I use this as a go-to oil is to keep the bugs away. And you can try putting 1 to 3 drops in the palm of your hand, rubbing your hands over your arms, legs, neck, etc. Avoid your eyes, and I would say lightly on the face if needed. And so what's interesting is that the smell of purification is actually unappealing to most critters. So you can also create a spray bottle with a few ounces of water and then several drops of purification oil and spritz it over your body. Maybe if you're outside, spritz it around where you're sitting. And that is a absolute beautiful thing to do. Now, so this oil can also be soothing to irritated skin if a critter does get you. What does that mean? Try applying 1 to 2 drops on location, neat. I generally don't dilute it if I'm applying it to one of those little areas where I got. And repeat application every 30 minutes if you need to. That's usually what I'll do. Right after an incident, I'm like, let's put it on there. Okay, 30 minutes later, let's put another drop on there. And no joke, it has a very soothing, comforting feeling to those areas. So for more serious bug encounters, try applying on location as well as to the bottoms of the feet and down the spine. Now read into that for a more serious bug encounter. I'm talking multiple encounters all over your body or something that has a more potent effect to the body. Then oftentimes a person will add purification and just apply it to the bottoms of your feet and down your spine, and has a wonderful effect that way. Disclaimer on that is honestly, if you have a serious irritation and skin condition that occurs, such as like a spider bite, snake bite, scorpion bite, they could definitely be more dangerous to the body. So if you feel the need, go to the emergency room and take care of it that way, get it looked at, because those do have the ability to go through the body very quickly. And yes, so there we go for purification.
Love that oil. You know what I do with that oil as well? I love to put it into my couple of drops into my laundry tub.
Oh, there you go. Yes, it smells amazing though too. So I've even put it in the bottoms of my shoes, like the tennis shoes that I go hiking with, or some sandals or whatever. Having that little spray bottle of purification does way more than just keep the bugs away. It will keep you not wanting to run away from smelly things, like even a dog's bed or something like that. So let's go to lavender. Lavender is such a beautiful plant. I got to go to Idaho and actually walk through the lavender fields and hear the buzzing of the bees And it was just this all-encompassing nature encounter. Lavender is known as one of the most versatile of essential oils. So its uses literally encompass different applications as far as skin, all the way up to supporting restful sleep when you inhale it before bed. So it both has a great topical application as well as when you inhale it, it's going to just have a beautiful emotional calming aspect to it as well. I'm going to go ahead and read this testimony number 2, which is from Elizabeth from Texas. And it says, lavender was the first oil I ever used, and it soon became my best friend. When I was out in the sun a little too long, I apply a few drops to my skin for a soothing effect. When I grabbed a hot pan or touched a curling iron to my forehead on accident, it was soothing to apply lavender right away and apply several times after. It is my go-to for soothing the skin on my hands after doing yard work and getting blisters, or after hiking a long ways and my feet need a little TLC. Before bed at night, I put a drop of lavender in the palm of my hand and inhale deeply to help me relax. What a fun testimony. So moving on to peppermint. Peppermint oil contains menthol for an invigorating aroma and a cooling sensation that soothes fatigued muscles. Peppermint is cooling to the skin when applied topically. It's great to apply 1 to 3 drops on the back of the neck on a hot day, or if you're feeling a little bit overheated. I absolutely love to do this. I just put a drop of peppermint in the palm of my hand and just go and rub it on the back of my neck. Is an absolutely amazing thing. Peppermint is empowering when applied over the lung area before a cardiovascular workout. And later we're going to talk about RC, and peppermint and RC are my 2 favorites to apply topically on my chest area before I go out and go for a run or go hiking or something like that. Now, talking about the Vitality version of peppermint, Vitality essential oil promotes healthy bowel function, supports gastrointestinal system comfort, and adds a fresh, minty flavor to foods and beverages. So peppermint Vitality has so many benefits when it's taken internally as a dietary supplement. You could try adding a drop of peppermint Vitality to a water bottle, or also putting a few drops in an empty gel capsule, and that's really helpful for supporting a healthy digestive system. Number one oil in that regard as a single oil. And then later we're going to talk about Digest Vitality, and that's my second to help with supporting a digestive system. Here's what's really cool. Lemon is less than $13 for a big 15 ml bottle of lemon. Okay. Peppermint, I don't remember the price right offhand, is rather inexpensive. Same as lavender. So what you're going to see when you go and add these to your shopping cart at Young Living is that they're actually, many of them are very cost effective. You're also probably going to freak out when you see the price of heliochrysum and frankincense. But honestly, they're so worth having on hand. When you need them, you'll wish you had them. Mm-hmm. So something you can do is even just get a little sample bottle and just put 20 drops of your heliochrysum in that and keep that in your first aid kit rather than the whole bottle. You know, you can totally break it up like that if you need to. So lemon, oh my goodness. If you're familiar with the benefits of adding just a normal squeezed lemon to water, lemon is a natural liver cleanser. It supports digestive health, and it assists the body's ability to remain at an alkaline state versus acidic. So that is when you're actually using just the inside of the lemon and adding it to your water. What's cool, I mentioned, is that lemon essential oil is cold pressed from the rind of the fruit, and it includes the natural constituents of limonene, gamma terpenine, and beta pinene. So I won't tell you what those do, but go to pubmed.org and look those up, and you're going to see some amazing health benefits. for
Yeah,
that.
good ones to Google.
Absolutely. And so, like I noted earlier, peppermint vitality are the same oil, they're just different labeling. And lemon vitality essential oil contains antioxidants and provides immune and circulatory support and can be used to add a fresh flavor to foods and beverages. So I love adding a drop of lemon vitality to a glass of water or making lemonade. I will make a lavender lemonade using the vitality oils. So good. Another thing is if you're storing water, you can actually add lemon vitality, like a drop to 10 to 20 ounces of water, and that will help keep your water fresh longer. You could also add peppermint vitality to water to do the same thing when you're storing it.
Yeah. And when you add
So,
it, actually, it's super yummy.
mhm. Beverly, do you have any testimonies about DiGize?
Oh, Digest? Well, I mean, yeah, Digest is definitely one of those that you keep on hand. So I know just my blanket recommendation for it is that I always think about Thanksgiving, right? And we're heading into those seasons again. And I want to say that that's one that we use almost every single Thanksgiving because you tend to overeat and then you get that feeling that your belly's like really full. And I'm putting a couple of drops of Digest into water and then take a nice big sip of that water. That will help. I don't know. I mean, obviously overeating causes that feeling, but for some reason Digest is just able to take the edge off of that overstuffed feeling.
It's true. It's true. It really does. And what's neat is that we oftentimes talk about enzymes, which help break down our food. We need enzymes to do every single function of our body. So if you're a person that takes enzymes already, consider getting especially specific kinds of enzymes. I love Young Living's Essential Zyme 4 to take with meals and Essential Zyme to take in between meals because that helps all of the functions of the body that you need enzymes in order to do. And Digest, check out these oils in it because I can't say it's my favorite smell, but it does wonders. This is
Not my
not my
favorite
favorite
flavor
smell,
either.
but it combines tarragon, ginger, peppermint, juniper, fennel, lemongrass, anise, and patchouli for a soothing experience when massaged over the abdomen. Now, what's cool is then if you use Digest Vitality, it contains antioxidants and may support the digestive system when taken internally. So, personally, because I'm not a fan of the smell, I love to take my empty gel capsules and add a few drops of the Digest Vitality. I will add a little bit of coconut oil to it because when you do that, it helps you, keeps you from burping up the taste of the Digest Vitality, which is also not the greatest. But taking Digest in a capsule, oh, it's been a lifesaver for me. So I'm going to read a testimony about that. And this is my personal testimony, which says, I never travel without Digest Vitality. This oil has been a lifesaver so many times. Once, when I was in a foreign country, I ate at the buffet, and soon after, my tummy started feeling a little queasy. I decided to take a capsule with Digest Vitality and took one capsule every 4 hours for a full day. So that was probably 4 different times that I took the Digest Vitality. What's awesome is thankfully I felt fine. Sadly, others on the trip were sick with some form of food poisoning for several days. So this isn't the only instance Digest Vitality has saved my bacon from coming up, you know?
Oh,
Oh, we gotta add a little humor in this, right?
yes, yes.
Oh my goodness, it's amazing. I don't travel without it. So here we're gonna jump into 3 more oils. I'll go through them really quickly. Panaway. Think about the name of this oil. Think really hard. Panaway, Panaway, and you'll figure out what it does. Panaway oil blend is a combination of clove, heliochrysum, peppermint, and wintergreen. It creates a cooling and soothing sensation when applied to fatigued muscles after physical activity. So you can try applying several drops on location and continue applying as needed. Although the oil is cooling to the skin, it generally doesn't need to be diluted unless you desire to. So there's your Panaway. It's amazing. Amazing. Guys love having it in their gym bag and going to the gym. Okay, so as far as when I go hiking, the oils I never leave without: Panaway, Purification, Peppermint. I would say those are the three that are always in my backpack when I go hiking. So now we are going to move on to thieves. And if you've heard the story of thieves, I'm not going to share it today, but it is a fascinating story. And that is where this oil blend got its name. Thieves is a legendary blend of the purifying essential oil of clove, lemon, cinnamon bark, Eucalyptus radiata, and rosemary. It is known for its immune support and cleansing properties when taken internally. When used topically and aromatically, it is a refreshing breathing experience. So this is the first oil that I go to. I love adding it to an empty gel cap, the Thieves Vitality, and taking that internally to support the body's natural immune function. It's amazing. And then if you feel like you need a little extra support, go ahead. And like I said, I will take Thieves Vitality in a capsule every 4 hours when I really feel like I need that support. Okay. Thieves is definitely one that I'll put on the bottoms of my feet and down my spine. And so I'll do about 3 drops on each foot. And so if you're using oils, I honestly say hold out your hand, take the bottle, tip it upside down. You don't need to shake it. You don't need to dab it. Usually you want to have the least amount of exposure on the lid of on the top of your oil bottle as possible, but just let it drop out. 1, 2, 3. If you get 4, it's okay. If you get 5, it's okay too. Just divide it, but down on the feet and down the spine is a great way to use Thieves. Other great ways to do is adding a few drops of the Thieves Vitality to a capsule, like I mentioned, and then going down. So I will actually take a little cup and an ounce of water, kind of warm-ish water, and a drop or 2 of Thieves Vitality, and I gargle with it. And it has such a soothing feeling for my throat, and it also helps with freshness of breath. So think about those oils. RC Essential Oil Blend is a powerful combination of cypress, spruce, and 3 other types of eucalyptus oil. So the initials stand for respiratory care, as this oil may provide a refreshing breathing experience. So what I would recommend is try applying 2 to 4 drops over the neck and the chest, and then rub your hands together, cup them over your nose, and inhale deeply. Repeat as often as you need to. And this is one, again, like I said, peppermint and RC, I love to apply to my chest before going out and doing the workout. But inhaling it has amazing, amazing soothing effects as well.